to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kiro's show here. Now then, whenever we last left off, we had just had the heroes versus villains. And now we're going to be going over the USJ event. Now, everyone is getting on the bus, and they are getting ready. Deku has noticed that Katsuki, she's been a little, quiet lately. And she seems to be training a bit more. Deku actually brings this up to her whenever they are on the bus, basically just sitting down, asking her what's going on with her. Her somewhat just shaking him off, saying that it's nothing. She's doing fine. Deku being a bit confused. She's being a bit, a lot more aggressive than usual, but that was somewhat of a lie or something. He just knows that was not a straight answer. So, this is whenever Deku, he would hear someone ask him a question. Exactly what is his quirk? Oh, my quirk. Right. I kind of have two. An enhancement quirk and, my fire quirk. As Deku would light his hand on fire, saying that this is a lower level of my heat. However, as he closes his fist, people watching as his sparks blue. Deku saying that this is, how it was when it manifested. I'm able to turn down my heat and increase it. However, building resistance to it is somewhat tricky. My body has a natural resistance to some forms of fire, but that's just it. Him giving a full explanation. Now, with that, they would arrive at the USJ. Everyone's somewhat just waiting. Until Aizawa would get them all off the bus and tell them to head in. As they would do so, the doors would close behind them, and this is whenever they would see 13. Her giving the explanation that there are many heroes with weird and various quirks, but just because those quirks seem to be dangerous or, odd, doesn't make them villains, but if they use it in a certain way, they can certainly become very good heroes. Take Endeavor for example. His hell flames could be dangerous and, catastrophic to the environment, or even the city and people in general. But he still uses it in odd ways to make him a great hero. Now, with that, this is whenever a portal would open, and the villains would arrive. Deku seeing this, as he would have immediately jumped in. Aizawa running in basically after him, telling him to get back and to stay with everyone else. As Deku would run forward and smash his hands in the ground, throwing them upwards to create an entire wall of fire. Todoroki and Bakugo would run in behind him, these two actually creating explosions and, ice, trying to help him out. As they take out a third of the League in one fell swoop. Shigaraki immediately would notice this, telling Kirigiri to summon the Nomu, and to sick it on those brats. Now, with that, he would be staring at Deku for a second. Half of Deku's body is covered in blue fire, along with the way his outfit looks. Clearly it looks to be based off of Endeavor, or just flame heroes. But his fire. As Shigaraki would open his mouth, saying, "You must be Dabi's brother. Who the fuck is Dabi?" Deku immediately holding out his hand and sending fire in Shigaraki's direction. The Nomu getting in the way. As Shigaraki watches Kirigiri open a portal, he sends all the other students away. These three, however, are stuck dealing with the Nomu. Now, this is where Todoroki, she would begin. She would throw out her leg as she sends a large blast of fire directly at it, covering and engulfing the Nomu. The Nomu basically breaking through it and shattering, falling to the ground. They think it's over, but this is whenever it would begin to regenerate, proving that they are in a world of pain. Now, as the Nomu regenerates, this is whenever Shigaraki would tell it to attack, it immediately running straight for Deku. Deku would turn on One for All as he would send a 35% smash across Nomu's face, watching as it basically just absorbs the impact. It immediately beginning by grabbing Deku by the arms and going to toss him. Deku getting sent flying across the USJ. As Katsuki, she begins to run in and begins to throw flames at it. Or not flames, explosions. She begins to just keep going and going and going. She thinks that if she piles on enough damage, this will work perfectly. So she needs to hurry. Todoroki actually doing the same. She's smashing it with as much ice as possible as she just keeps throwing waves upon waves at it. Her hand is actually beginning to get covered in more ice. So she's clearly going to hit a physical limit soon. Katsuki, she just keeps throwing large and large explosions throughout her gauntlets. While Deku, he is getting back up. He is across the water, as he would just start by taking off, sending on his leg flying as he goes soaring over the water, feeling something grab his leg. He would look down to see, Sue. He wouldn't really care as he would just get his hands outwards and burst fire behind him, so that he does at least speed up his momentum. As Sue would let go. Sue has Kendo and another student. Deku was able to actually get them out of that water zone, so their problem is solved. Now, Deku would have come charging in as he gets directly above the Nomu, sending in as much heat as possible, his flames turning to a very, very light shade of blue. As Deku would have been able to get away, he begins to shake off his hands, as they turn red. Shigaraki actually watching this, as the Nomu just keeps coming back in. It begins to attack Deku, and any time the Nomu goes to attack Katsuki or Todoroki, Deku will sometimes try and step in. However, he's a bit more unaffected by it. Him just trying to take on as much damage as possible. Eventually we get to the point where the Nomu, it is ordered to kill both of these girls, as it would cock its arm backwards and go to throw a punch at Katsuki. She's gravely injured and she cannot use one of her arms anymore. Deku actually stepping in, pushing her out of the way and taking the punch. Him getting knocked to the ground and breaking one of his arms. As he is bleeding heavily, he begins to use his quirk as he just sends a smash to his left arm at 100%, smashing it directly into the Nomu. The Nomu absorbing this punch. As Deku begins to use his fire, his body begins to heat up more and more and more, and his skin is beginning to burn a little bit. As Todoroki, she comes running in. She grabs onto the Nomu's back and begins to try and freeze it directly, as she basically takes out one of its sides, it being dropped to its leg, or one leg and one arm, as it tries to regenerate. Her just trying to keep up the ice. Letting Deku get back up, as the Nomu would have taken its good arm, grab her by the back, or by her shirt and smash her into the ground, beginning to raise his leg upwards, as he would go to stomp down. As soon as that happens, Deku, he would have ran forward with as much power as possible. He pushed himself to 45%. He just tore something in his leg, as he would have been able to grab Todoroki and push her and throw her out of the way, as she would be confused. She can see Deku. He is not doing well. Both of his arms are broken and he can barely stand, as his body would just ignite with fire. Him saying to just stay behind him. Listen, I will protect both of you, even if it costs me my life. Those words somewhat ringing in these two's ears, as they would be angry, saying that they don't need to be protected. They need to fight. As Deku would go running in, he would try to use his mask, as he begins to blow fire directly at the Nomu. Shigaraki orders it to kill that kid, as it would begin running forward. Running through the fire, it would bring its arms up, smashing directly into Deku's mask. It breaking and Deku getting sent flying, as he fractures his skull. Now, with that, Deku goes smashing to the ground, as he just lays there. Things are woozy and hazy and he can't really feel anything. What exactly is going on? He needs to find that out, as he can hear someone. You know, kid, you really do need to get back up. Who are you? Where are you? The name's Shimura. Now listen. Are you really gonna give up here? All your effort to become a hero just wasted like that? Besides, you need to remember, you carry the power of heroes, one for all. What is it? I'm not even sure the right way to phrase this. I'm All Might's former mentor, so your mentor's mentor. That works. Anyways, what's happening right now is you think you're going to die. You're not. What you're going to do is you're going to get back up and fight that thing. I've been looking at your progress. It's fairly good in this last couple months. But you need to do something for me, okay? What is it? Well, first off, stand back up. Deku just somewhat huffing and puffing as he rolls over. Him getting back onto his legs. Shigaraki watching this, confused. Todoroki and Bakugo also confused, telling Deku to just stay down. They'll hold it off. As this is whenever Deku does one simple thing, asking what next. One for all in your quirk. Use them both at full power. But I haven't... Listen, I know you're afraid of that. If you keep your physical strength hidden, or even your quirk's actual power just unrestrained, I understand. But listen to me. Let's go of your control. Your quirk is deadly, yes, but right now that's what you need. So, let it go and let One for All boost it to its maximum. Do you understand? As Deku would just look up, his eyes and his entire face coating in a wave of fire, saying to come at him. As Deku turns on full cowling. He turns it up to 100%, something his body can barely handle, as he just sparks and covers with fire, rushing forward. As soon as he does so, he throws a punch with his other arm, the one that the Nomu broke, sending it across his face as the Nomu's skin begins to scorch, him immediately holding out his mouth and just burning it with a wave of fire. As he just continues, grabbing onto the Nomu, he would just begin holding onto it as he just covers himself in fire, engulfing everything. The area around them is beginning to burn and actually spark. Katsuki and Todoroki, these two are in shock, somewhat getting away, as they can see the fire somewhat move and, well, get away from Deku's body, Anytime it does, it seems like it's just, well, destroyed. Deku being able to throw a punch upwards with both of his hands and then just flex his muscles, or well, his body a certain way, sending a shockwave and a wave of fire directly at the Nomu, engulfing it and coating it. Deku's burned off most of that shock absorbent skin, so this will be different and difficult. Him running forward and latching onto the Nomu, these two grappling for a second. Deku feeling something crack in his hand, as he's barely able to hold ground. As he just turns it up in his hands, coating the Nomu's entire arm and disintegrating it. As he would begin to do the same to the other hand, and fight off the Nomu. All Might arriving mid-battle. He would rush forward as he would immediately rush in, punching the Nomu in the gut, sending it across the USJ. Deku being able to see All Might as he would immediately just turn off the power, falling to the ground, huffing and puffing as his body is covered in burns. Everything basically broken. As Deku's body is hyperventilating, he's barely even conscious. Katsuki and Todoroki running over, seeing if he is okay. As Deku is silent. Now, this is whenever Katsuki, she would grab Deku, trying to flip him over. But her gloves are being burned through, that's not good. As these two would somewhat begin to freak out. Her immediately looking to Todoroki, saying to cover him in ice. Todoroki beginning to do so with her hand. Although anytime she continues to cover it, it just keeps burning away. Her having to pour as much power into this as possible. Until they can get a proper hero here to help Deku. Deku's laying there with 2 broken arms, 2 broken legs, a fractured skull, a broken jaw, and, well, possibly a shattered spine. Along with one of his hands having permanent damage. Now, okay, now then, this is bad. All Might would have taken care of the Nomu as it has barely finished regenerating. All Might being able to throw a 1,000,000% smash in a soft area, sending the Nomu flying out of the USJ, as he didn't get the injury Kirigiri has caused. Now then, with that being said, Deku is eventually tended to by Recovery Girl, her saying that it's very dangerous to move him, or even try and attempt to. Deku barely being able to open his eyes. There are spots in his vision, but he is at least able to see these two. As he would somewhat just smile, it hurting a lot, saying that he protected them. These two basically, well, nearly in tears. Todoroki's not really sure how to feel. He had good intentions, but he nearly just killed himself doing so. While Katsuki, she's nearly having an entire breakdown. Her best friend is very injured and might die. This is very serious. But Deku would have been moved, with the help of All Might and possibly another hero. Them taking him to Recovery Girl's office. Eventually, Inko would have arrived, seeing the damage to her son. Katsuki and Todoroki basically just sitting there, waiting for him to wake up. Deku's been able to get most of his bones healed, but some of them, Recovery Girl couldn't really heal. The damage might actually have to be repaired by surgery, and his skin, that is possibly a different matter. He will have some permanent burns, but not a lot. His hands might be permanently scarred, along with his forearms. But most of the area around his upper torso will be healed. And at least scarred. So, that is where that situation headed. As they're just waiting for him to heal right now, and wake up. So he'll be out of commission for quite a while. Now then, that is going to be where I leave this part off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.